everybody, welcome back to my channel. Look, coffee chat. Hello vlogsters, good morning. Have some coffee with me. Today we're having some Pat coffee. I call it Pat coffee. I mentioned this before, but maybe you don't pay attention enough or I go too fast. Pat was one of the occupational therapist techs, physical therapist techs too, really. She was making coffee during group one time and I was like, oh my gosh, is that coffee? She's like, yeah, you want some? And then we went to this whole thing about what diet I was on and can I have coffee? And I was like, I can have coffee. And she only had sugar-free vanilla and regular butter pecan. And she mixed them together. So it's like, that's how she does it. And this is the most amazing. So I'm going to have a sip now because it smells amazing. Then I said to Jim, we have sugar-free caramel macchiato and southern butter pecan. How would that taste? I don't know. Pat, if you're watching, get on that. No, I'm kidding. I asked him, I was like, could we try that? And he's like, maybe in a nice coffee. And I was like, all right. But I'm out of cold brew, so who even goes? Good morning, everybody. I missed you guys. If this outfit looks familiar, it's because I mentioned in yesterday's video that I've been behind. So yesterday I actually posted this. You're watching it yesterday. For me, it was this morning. Thank you. I feel like I heard you guys say, it's okay, Jerry, it's okay. Just breathe, think about it, and thank you. Whether or not you said that, I'm thanking you anyway, because I have a feeling that a lot of people are thinking that and feeling that way. I learned a new phrase, which I'm going to make my channel's motto. Actually, I'm going to add it to my description box. Be kind or be elsewhere. Mama Dr. Joe says, be kind in the comments. Be kind. Be kind to me. Be kind in the comments. Be kind to each other. Be kind in the comments. And I tried that a few times and it worked. I mean, not that it works or it doesn't work. People do what they're going to do anyway. But I heard that yesterday on, there's a TikToker who does this character called Hemlock, who, if you don't know, Hemlock is basically the way she puts it is the not the organizer or the escort into the afterlife. She's the manager. That's what it is. She's the manager of lost souls in the afterlife. If people don't know where to get placed in the afterlife, they come and see her. So, she was talking yesterday about people getting her comments and they say that their God's the only God and their religion's the only valid religion. And there's a name for it, which I'm sure I knew that there was a name for it. Oh, see, what is happening here? But I didn't know the name from it before. Now, because I'm not great with that, with words anyway, I'm not going to remember the word. But I did write down so I would remember, be kind or be elsewhere, because that is going to be my new motto. I've had some very disparaging comments direct message to me, and I'm sure they're going on in the comment boxes down below, because if they're reaching out to me because they're not getting the attention they want, that means they're probably in the comments doing it, being negative as well. I don't have the energy. I don't have the strength to defend myself and my actions and my choices. I don't have to do that. I don't have the desire to appease every single person's whim out there. I don't have, and I've never had the desire to engage in drama. It's not been my thing. It really hasn't. I'm like really not interested. I've never been a soap opera watcher. Well, not never, when I was a teenager, because I feel like that's what it's made for. But I've never been interested in engaging in petty squabbles, even when I was a teenager and I was in petty squabbles. Just can't. So if you're looking to reach out to me to give me your opinion about whatever the day is, and if it's something I feel like I've not addressed, I may address it. But as I kind of said to one of the people, I was like, look, if you're going to choose to listen to what you want to listen to, I'm going to explain it to you one time. Because there are things like I've talked about on my channel before. There's nothing new. Like, I will address one situation. I bought the Keto Snacks on Instagram. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about. If you guys don't have Instagram, but you have Facebook, you can just find Jeri-Ann Henson, my business page, and all of the things that I post to Instagram go to my business page. That being said, I found a company. I follow a keto lady who did her weight loss tremendously. She reminds me a lot of me when I was younger. She had shared that the Smart Baking Company had a 50% off sale plus free shipping. Now, my sister Jane had actually been the one who introduced me to the Smart Baking Company originally, saying that they have really good muffins and really good rolls. Did she say buns? I can't remember if she told me. I don't know if she told me the buns are good or they're okay, or I don't really remember right now. I'm only 2 sips of coffee into the day. But I said to Jim, you know, 50% off. These are really expensive snacks normally. And he's getting ready to go back to work, so I kind of need something. Now, as far as the bready part of concern, so we got these lemon cupcake things, and I know I had one of those at Aunt Sue's house once. She got a free sample, and she gave it to me, or she bought it, and I don't remember exactly. Really, really delicious. And is that right? It was Aunt Sue, right? I think she brought it here. I can't remember, but he's getting ready to go back to work in just like 10 days. And I want to take advantage of this because we had a muffin yesterday just to taste it. So I've got 5 more muffins, 8 cupcake thingies, and then I got a pack of 6 hamburger buns. I think it's 6. It might be 4. And I got all that for $29. And if you've ever bought keto products, you know. So somebody snidely reached out to me and said how that even though they're keto, they have calories, and here I am buying all these snacks while Jim's drinking Diet Mountain Dew. Okay. I'm going to address this because I've addressed it before, and I had told her in the comments that I've addressed this before. I am not trying to lose weight. I've never eaten keto to try to lose weight. I've never eaten keto to try to get into ketosis. I don't do keto. I don't do a keto diet. I just eat keto foods because they're low in carbohydrates. As a type 2 diabetic, it is important that you keep your carb intake level. I was doing this for a year. I did lose some weight along the way, but mostly I think that might be because I started my medication back up again. That being said, I'm no longer on my diabetes medication because my blood sugar is being managed. I am having more carb days and they're still not spiking my blood sugar. Could this be from the other treatments? 100% possible. Like, this could be as a result of the immunotherapy helping my not pancreas, my well, I guess my pancreas, but my insulin. I was going to say it can help my insulin be less resistant. Basically what happens when you type 2 diabetic is that you're producing insulin that doesn't absorb all of the carbohydrates, and your body keeps sending them out, but they don't work. So then you have an overabundance of insulin. It's making you hungry. It's just this vicious cycle. So is it the immunotherapy that's helping boost that? I don't know. It could be. Could it be that I've lost weight? I don't know. It could be that I'm eating less carbs. I don't know. I don't know what's doing it, but all I know is that it's working. So it's working for me. If it may work for you, I'm not trying to say it won't or will. Regardless of all that, I haven't been trying to lose weight. That's not been a goal of mine. When I found out that I had to have a hip replacement, which is what I thought it was before the cancer, I thought I had to lose weight to have a hip replacement. So I was on a weight loss journey then. But since then, since we found out it's cancer, my doctor isn't really interested in having me doing having a weight loss goal, because people who have cancer on chemotherapy lose their appetites like me and will naturally lose weight. So he doesn't want me to encourage more weight loss, if that makes any sense. Also, my primary wanted me to cut back on the keto. So I mentioned before I was doing carb days on Sunday. Now I'm doing carb days 3 days a week. It was Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, but it's now has no rhythm. As long as I keep a non-carb day between carb days, that's all that matters to me. So it's like, if it's, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Monday, as long as it's every other day minimum, and it's working for me. My blood sugar is staying managed. On carb days, I'm still eating sensible carbs, low on the GI index, like bananas, like sweet potatoes, like corn. Those things for me are have always been good carbs for me. Have brown rice, those types of things. I am staying away from wheat still. I'm staying away from gluten. They're really not good. I actually had some yesterday, and I have a feeling that all the problems that I had with my stomach last night were because I had some gluten yesterday. I was good to go to Starbucks and get the eggs off of the bread. However, I did have the corners off an almond croissant. I was really looking forward to the almond croissant, and I will tell you, it wasn't good. It's normally very good. I don't know if it's just because it made me feel ill. Maybe that's better. I don't really know. But who knows? Only the shadow knows, right? That's what they say. Okay. Today I'm going to sit up. I sat up yesterday. My leg really hurt after sitting up yesterday. But yesterday was like a big long chunk of time in a row. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to sit up. I'm going to vlog here. I'm going to spend exactly 2 hours in this chair. And then I've set my alarm to get up in 2 hours and to lay down. And I've set my alarm to lay down, or I set the timer to lay down for 2 hours to get up and then go work in the office, to sit in the chair for 2 hours. That's it. My timer is 2 hours maximum. That's all I can do. I'm not going to push myself any further than that, because then my leg, if that makes any sense. So I'm looking to see how that works today. If me setting a timer, giving myself limitations, or giving myself limits to not exceed those limits, then we'll see how that goes. So come along with me. That'd be great. I know you all haven't seen the before picture of the room, but my sister and husband were so kind to try to clear a path to my desk that they made it impossible for me to get into the closet, which, if you guys remember, a lot of supplies are in the closet. For me to actually, what's the word? I was just going to say physically, but that's not the right word. Completely, efficiently, effectively. For me to effectively purge, I have to get into the closet. I have to get all those baskets down. I have to go through them and all of the things that go along with that. There are other supplies that are going to go in the closet. All of the glassware from the dining room / Jim's office. It used to be the dining room was where I kept the glassware, so it wouldn't get broken. But now it's Jim's office, so I want to get all the glassware out of his way. That's going to go in the closet. And some other things, but I want to keep things in the closet, sort of out of baskets. But then I'm like, sorry, I want to keep them out of baskets so I can see, but then I'm like, well, what if I need to bring them to the table? I'll have to pick up things one at a time. But then I realized I never really took the baskets to the table anyway. So I should just leave them out, leave them open, and then I can see what I have better. There's so many projects in my head that I want to do. There's so many things in my body that I want to accomplish. There's so much that I have left. I'm okay. There's so much I have left to do. So I can't wait to get back in there. And actually, we found a project. I told you guys I started this project a year ago. And I think it was in May. It might have been at Christmas. Actually, can't remember. I started this project last year, and I have a whole thing I wanted to do with video of all the pizza pan projects. And I found it. Well, not found it, but I took it out and I was like, well, I'm leaving this out. I'm leaving this out because I'm getting this project done. It's the first thing on my agenda is to finish this project. So I pray that we get to go in there today and we get to really knock some stuff out of the ballpark. There's a lot of snow on the ground and it's still snowing. So Jim's desire to do things on the outside of the house is very low. But you know, like throwing the carpet out and stuff. But hopefully he'll be willing and able. Oh, wow. Back to the message about the diet and weight loss. And the calories and the snacks. Jim doesn't drink diet soda because he's trying to lose weight or that I'm worried about his weight at all. 100%. Never been an issue. It's never crossed my mind. Jim has genetically high triglycerides and cholesterol. And the doctor told him to stop drinking the sugary soda because it's contributing to that. So if you don't know what triglycerides are, basically, the way she just simplified it for us is excessive sugar in your body is making cholesterol in your body, sort of, the bad kind, or preventing or helping make, oh, maybe that's not what she said, but I feel like that's what she said, is building or preventing the good cholesterol from kicking the bad cholesterol's butt, but the triglycerides are bad. And basically all the soda he's drinking, all the sugary drinks are not good for that. So that's why I encourage Jim to drink the diet soda. It has zero to do with his weight. It has zero to do with my weight. Yes, 100%. So thank you. But kindly ABCFU. Thank you. Someone else was like, talking about like, I don't know, wasn't nasty, wasn't the word or whatever, but I was like, well, how do I do that? How do I get, lash out, that's what it is. I can lash out. Oh, so you're saying that people can say whatever they want about me, and they're only their opinions. They feel like they're facts, and I feel like that they belong to certain political parties where people just think that whatever they think is the right answer, despite everything else. But that's beside the point. Sorry, I didn't mean to get political. However, what you think are facts, and what I know is me. Like, I don't understand the logic behind, even if I told you every single detail of my life, why do you choose to believe some and not others? Why do you think you know me well enough to have an opinion on it? And then why do you choose to believe some things and not others? That's the thing I cannot get. I actually said to my husband, I said, have you been saying X, Y, and Z about this? And he's like, no, just, I don't really know much. And I just try to share whatever we learned that day. And I was like, okay. I was like, because people are really disparaging of me. And I know that we had a thing a while back where he vented before he knew it was cancer. He had this thing where he just was, like, just let it all out. His rant video, I think it was. And it was very disparaging to me. And I have said to him since, and we've worked it out, it was like, where did this all come from? When I said to him, what in our history makes you think that I am not being truthful about how I feel these days? And he's like, well, because in New York you did everything. And I was like, yeah. And I said, shouldn't that be the key trigger to how I truly am not feeling well, because I'm not doing everything anymore? And he's like, well, I guess I just figured you got lazy. I was like, why would you figure I got lazy? Even when we moved here, I was like, the first 2 years, I was like everywhere, doing everything. I was like, why would you all of a sudden think that I just turned that off? And he's like, I don't know. I don't know. He's like, I just had feelings, and then people like encourage the feelings and stuff. So we've worked it out, and we're talking about it every day, but I'm sort of like surprised, and I don't want to disparage my husband, but my husband is a storyteller, and he's a good storyteller. But it's really funny. I said, it's funny that people are believing you over me when they're actually my experiences, and they're your views of my experiences. And they choose to believe you over me. And he's like, well, and then he started to say, like, compare it of why people don't believe him when he talks. And I said, honey, please forgive me for this. However, you have a history of storytelling where you haven't been honest, and you have made stuff up. I said, I've not ever done that. I said, yes, do I like keep things out of the channel that are our private, personal, like, intimate situations? Yes, 100%. Same thing with mom's personal, private, intimate situations. Like, that's the reason you've never seen her space. It's because that's her space. I was like, do I basically do that thing where we aren't 100% honest to protect someone's feelings? 100%. 100%. I will pretend that something is my issue and it's really his issue, so that you guys don't get on him about how he is. And I don't mean pretend, but I will just like word it so that it's not quite a lie, but it's not quite the truth either. I'll use the words we have issues when they're technically his issues, but as a married couple, they become my issues. So technically it's not a lie, because we have issues. But I have never been dishonest about this. I mean, I've been dishonest when I was younger, Of course I have. What child has not lied to their parents in one form or another about one thing or another? And I had a wild imagination when I was a child. However, I'm not a child anymore. And that one of the things too is the difference is my husband is very childlike. There's a line in Living Out Loud by Ed Sheeran where he says, your soul could never grow old, it's evergreen. And I explained that to him. I said, that reminds me of you. And he said, why? I said, because you have a childlike quality and it's never going to change. However, in all fairness, to me, sometimes it's childish. I guess with a childlike quality can come some childish behaviors. He's like, well, I guess I could see that. And I was like, thank you. And he said, for what? I said, for seeing it. Like so many times he gets so defensive. And I know 100% because he grew up with a learning disability that he gets just instantaneously defensive of everything. And usually he just like will come back with a quip, not thinking about it type of answer. And when he said that to me, I was like, oh, thank you so much. And he's like, for what? And I was like, for hearing me, for listening to me, for answering honestly. I'm really appreciative of it. So, people want to cause drama between me and my husband. Listen, I don't need that right now. He doesn't need that right now. Why right now? Let me kick Cancer's butt, and then you guys can dig into us all you want. I really don't care. But right now, please, and I say this with all the hope that I have for the future. I feel really bad if the outcome was not to be good and that you kind of disparaged me the whole time, how you would feel if I actually didn't beat this. I said to Jim, yesterday, that one of the reasons that I tried to get you to understand where I'm coming from the whole time is that I know how you felt when you heard the diagnosis. And it wasn't just my wife has stage 4 cancer and that could be not the future we looked for. He had guilt. He had the guilt for not believing me that I was sick and that I didn't feel good and that I was hurting. And he saw the fracture in the bone, and he didn't believe me until he saw the fracture in the bone that I was in pain. And I just didn't know why. I do now, because his channel has a lot of people that are really disparaging of me, the She-Man Woman Haters Club. But whatever, it's fine. Why? My husband and I've been through way worse than you guys are trying to do, put a wedge between us, trust me. And we're still together. Some of my family members are like, put your foot down because you can't do this anymore with him. And I was like, well, no, I can do it with him all day. I can't do it with them. I can't deal with them right now. She's like, well, shouldn't have to deal with him either. And I'm like, well, he's my husband. I already committed to deal with him. She's like, right now you have to focus on your health and healing. And I'm like, you know what? Yes. And breathe in the white light and breathe out the black light, and breathe in the white light and breathe out the cancer. However, sometimes focusing on others' needs is a healing thing. So, listen, I love you guys. if nobody's told you that you're loved, you can always come here and hear that you are loved, because I love you. And where would I be without each and every one of you, including those of you who feel the need to reach out and give me a smack in the face every once in a while? Whatever. To that. That being said, you are loved here too, regardless. Nothing you can do that's going to piss me off enough to not love you. I do feel sorry for you, and I do pray for you, but I love you too, or else I wouldn't care. You know what I mean? All right. Listen, as always, you guys, you take care. God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye. 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 Wait, let's see if we can do it. Can we do it? Can we do it? Can I reach? Can I reach? Bye.